Welcome to California in Focus. I'm Eliana Kernodle, standing in for David Mastio this week, and joining me today is the Center Square's California reporter, Kenneth Schrupp. How are you, Kenneth?
Hey, I'm doing okay today. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for joining us. So our story today is about Compton Community College. They started a pre-faculty training program. Can you tell us more about this program and what it entails?
Yeah, this faculty training program is going to teach 30 students who are currently enrolled master's and doctoral students how to become full-time faculty members. They'll be paired with faculty mentors who are already professors at community colleges, help them draft their cover letters and resumes, get introduced to other faculty administrators who are going to help them get these full-time jobs. There's only one catch, though. Well, two. A, you'll have to have started your education somewhere in the community college system, which makes sense. Two, in their application that was up for quite a long time, they said that you have to be a student of color.
And what's the funding for this? Like, how much does it cost and where is that money coming from?
So participants will have the direct cost of attendance covered by the program. They are going to be on campus twice. At the beginning and end of the program, I believe. And then they'll have a number of Zoom sessions in between. And this is not an especially expensive program. There's about 30 students, and the cost is about $100,000 total to the school. So it's only a few $1,000s per student, given the cost of flights and housing and program administration. It's not the most bloated spending project of all time. What is interesting, though, given the application limitations, inviting only students of color to attend the program, is that this money came from the Equal Employment Opportunity Best Practices funds that were provided by the California Community College's Chancellor's Office.
So let's talk a little bit more about this element of students of color. Some people have raised concerns that having a limitation like this wouldn't be legal under federal law. Can you kind of expand on that?
Yes. So Compton College does receive federal grant funding for tuition and received almost $21 million from the COVID-19 era Higher Education Emergency Relief Fund. Experts do say that if a college is federally funded, then it does fall under Title VI of the Civil Rights Act, which makes racial discrimination by federally funded organizations outright illegal. This is what Needu Arnold, a research fellow at the National Association of Scholars, told me in an interview. She did note that eligibility criteria in the application does not include a box to check for race, and she says that this is probably an attempt by them to avoid litigation, but given the way that the program is marketed, she says it's highly likely that they would not seriously consider non-POC students in the decision process, end quote. She continued by saying, a person who is not a minority will likely be discouraged from applying, even if the school tries to argue that it is technically open to all former community college students. If the resources offered are truly valuable as the program description advertises, then non-POC students are harmed by being excluded.
She did mention also that anti-discrimination law tends to be more lenient towards like outreach and recruitment programs. Did she feel like this program would fit into that category?
So she did say that outreach and recruitment programs are treated a little bit more leniently by anti-discrimination law, but she believes that this does not fall under that exemption because it's not just an outreach and recruitment program, because actual resources are being provided to participants that go beyond different kind of consideration for recruitment or hiring, which again is accepted as legal. By providing counseling, direct connections to administrators and faculty, especially through, transporting them down to Southern California, putting people up in hotels, covering the costs of the entire program. There are a lot of resources this program provides, and it goes well beyond the scope of typical recruitment or outreach programs.
So since writing this story, a lot of people have been talking more about it. What's kind of been the response to this story?
The overwhelming response to this story is that this sounds highly discriminatory and illegal. This story was syndicated by a few of our larger partners, including Just the News. The story on Just the News was shared by a number of California media figures, including Larry Elder, the radio host and recent candidate for governor. And soon after this story really began to get national coverage and attention, Compton College did quietly remove the words students of color from the application description on their website.
Well, it'll be interesting to continue to follow this story. If there's any further developments, listeners can keep up with this story and more at thecentersquare.com. For Kenneth Schrupp, I'm Eliana Kernodle. Please subscribe, and thank you for listening. Enjoying our podcast? Your reviews help other listeners find our show. Please leave us a review on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you listen.